Well, hello there, my darling. Long time no see. I've missed you, but I'm back because a little birdie told me that you've been having some trouble sleeping. Is that right? Yeah, just with getting to bed at night and relaxing and racing thoughts. Yeah, okay. Well, listen, that is a problem because beauty sleep is so important, as you know. So let's do something about that. I thought you and I could read together tonight, okay? I found this wonderful book that I'd love to share with you. It's called Soft Furnishings, okay, for your home. And it's a really nice, relaxing read, and it's also educational, which we love. So I'll just read the blurb to you on the back quickly, just so you know what you're getting into, and then we can get started. How does that sound? Lovely. Okay, sewing soft furnishings is a breeze, if you know how. This book offers you a treasury of ideas and illustrated step-by-step instructions. Making your own soft furnishings gives your home style and panache at a fraction of the cost of a professional service. And you can take pride in saying, oh, I made that one myself. So how does that sound, yeah? Lovely, okay. Well, let's just make sure before we start that you're lying down, okay? You're nice and horizontal. And are you nice and warm, darling? Okay, nice and warm and cozy, yeah. I always find that helps me. Okay, lovely. Let's get started then. So you don't have to do anything. If you feel like closing your eyes, of course, go ahead. But I'm just going to read to you, and if you drift off while I'm reading, that's okay. I'll wake you up and we can continue. Okay, alright. So, I've picked out a chapter on bedding, alright? They do have some other wonderful pages, but I do think that this one is going to be really good. Yeah, okay, so this is what it looks like, my darling. So we do have some pictures in there. We've got a little diagram, which is really nice too, if you're more of a visual learner, okay? And then over here we have a lot of words. So let me start reading that to you. So we're on page 134, and we're reading about bed linen. In medieval times, servants in noble households spun and wove elaborate sheets and pillow shams from silks and pure cottons. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Through the ages, bed linen has always been considered a great luxury and was an essential part of a young lady's trousseau. Okay, bit of French there for you. Exquisite bed linen was often traded as part of a dowry or bequeathed in a will. Threads of gold and silver were worked on handmade laces, satins and silks to create sumptuous trims on pillows and linens. I think I was born in the wrong era. That sounds wonderful. Today's bed linen, in its many colours and styles, was introduced into Europe during the 1960s. Up until this time, bed linen was predominantly white, with the bedspread printed in traditional florals. Bed linen has come a long way from those austere times, providing not only warmth and comfort, but great decorative possibilities for the bedroom as well. The colour scheme you select for your bed linen should reflect the total decorative scheme of your room. If you have a number of bed linen components to work with, combine different prints such as checks, stripes and florals using a common element such as a colour, to sort of link all the patterns together. If you prefer the clean, crisp purity of white linen, that's me, consider adding variations in texture to emphasize each of your components. Damask, with its silk and matte combination of weaves, provides wonderful textural qualities, whilst the addition of lace edges on pillows and valance adds yet another variation. Okay? Style is another consideration when planning the look of a bedroom. A stately brass or wooden four-posture bed in a formal bedroom can be shown to advantage with a box-pleated valance defining the height of the bed, or quilted bed shams in Jacobin chintz with pillow shams in a coordinating smaller print. Both items can be easily removed to reveal subtle cotton shades piped in one of the colours detailed in the bed shams. A decorative bolster or neck roll adds shape and proportion to the top of a bed. Teenagers are often the hardest to select bed linen scheme for, and I can attest to that. It's really difficult. The great advantage of making your own bed linen is that you can quickly and without too much expense change the look as your children grow. For teenagers, it is always pretty safe to work with solid colours. For toddlers and infants, the nursery can be a wonderful place decorated in stimulating bold motifs or pastels. You will need to make all the items to size for your particular child's room, as cot and bassinet sizes can vary dramatically. Okay, so just keep that one in mind. Wasn't that lovely to read about that? Should we find something else? I mean, we could go into the instructions, but I do quite enjoy sort of reading about the history behind it all, don't I? Let's have a look. I did see something about quilting, perhaps. Some blinds, some cushions. That could be nice. This looks cute. Alright, so let's read this page about cushions. Okay. So this is page 90. Let's get started. A simple cushion has the potential to pull a decorative scheme together through its colour, print, style and embellishments, and that's quite a hard thing to do. Okay, so that's quite impressive. Versatile cushions will transform a tired corner into a focal point of the room, give your chair or sofa a brand new look, or make a hard chair suddenly inviting and comfortable. As well as adding finishing touches, large cushions can provide valuable extra seating. Choosing the style for your cushions is a matter of personal taste, combined with the consideration of the intended use of the cushion. Okay? This balance will determine whether you are trying to achieve a crisp, neatly defined look with straight piping or single lengths of braid, or a totally feminine look with ruffles and lace frills. Your choice of trims will give your cushion a unique touch. Experiment with some of the ideas in this chapter, mixing and matching ideas for different effects. Cushions can also help you highlight attractive features of a room or camouflage the ones you would rather forget. Round cushions scattered on your high-backed lounge suite will de-emphasize the harshness of high ceilings and soften the line of tall pieces of furniture. On the other hand, irregular or asymmetrically shaped cushions in an array of colours will draw the eye to a particular object, taking the attention away from other, less pleasing aspects of a room. Okay, lovely. It's quite interesting reading about all of this. I do think I would like to read about some quilting though, so let's see what we can find about that. Yeah, here we go. So we're on page 150 and we are reading about the Continental Quilt. These feather or down-filled quilts, also called duvets or doonas, are the ideal solution for cold winter nights. They provide the warmth of several blankets without the weight. Now sometimes, if you're like me, you might actually find that weight quite comforting. So personally, I quite like to have a doona and then maybe 1 or 2 blankets on my bed, as I just find it helps me feel a little bit more secure when I sleep. But we're all different, you know, each to their own. Okay, so here it says, before you begin. The size of your quilt is entirely up to you. Generally, a double bed quilt should be approximately 2 meters by 2 meters, and a single bed quilt 2 meters by 1.6 meters. Okay, so quite different. Use a very closely woven fabric like japara, which is not always easy to find, down-proof cambric, or a very closely woven furnishing chintz or cotton. Don't use sheets. Feathers can work their way through the weave and escape. If you are joining lengths of fabric, use flat fell or French seams. The choice of filling is up to you. Down is more expensive than feathers, but is warmer, lighter, and bulkier. A combination of feathers and down is a good compromise. Polyester fibre is suitable for anyone allergic to feathers. Oh, goodness, could you imagine polyester? Oh, not for me. Generally, filling is sold in packs by weight. Approximately 1.5 kilograms of a feather and down combination filling was needed for this double bed quilt. And that's just the picture of the quilt there. So just have a little look, see at that one. Lovely. Polyester fibre weighs slightly more than feathers, so experiment until you're happy with the weight and feel of your own quilt. Tape is used to create channels for the filling. Choose firm cotton twill tape, okay? Firm cotton twill tape, not bias binding. So again, just quickly choose firm cotton twill tape, not bias binding. Say it with me, please. Choose firm cotton twill tape, not bias binding. Let's remember that one. Okay. The quantity of tape will depend on how many channels you make. For this double bed quilt, 20 centimetre wide channels suited the fabric pattern. This gave us 9 rows of tape, giving us 10 channels, so we used 18 meters of twill tape. Again, darling, choose firm cotton twill tape, not bias binding. Okay. Right, the length of tape required is equal to the number of rows of tape multiplied by the length of the quilt cover. Okay. Decide on the width of channels best for your fabric. And again, this is the quilt that they're referring to. A little bit of a garish pattern. Not for me, but each to their own. Right, so it then goes on to say, a feather quilt is theoretically washable, but the bulk is daunting when hanging it out to dry. So I personally wouldn't have to deal with this, as I do use a nanny, so she would be the one that would be washing it. But it also says here, dry cleaning is effective. And I do love a good dry clean, but again, I don't generally pick up my own dry cleaning. That's the nanny's job. Okay. Hanging your quilt out regularly to air in the sun will keep it smelling clean and fresh. Okay. The experienced say that one should only work with feathers and down in the bathroom with the door shut. When filling your quilt, place the opened bag of feathers in the bath This helps to confine the flyaway feathers to a relatively draft-free area with little for them to stick to. And remember to remove towels. Oh, I quite like how they sort of include some humour in this book. I do. Okay. All right. Now let's see if there's anything else we can read together before you drift off. And maybe let's just read this, okay? I should have read it at the start, but I got a little bit excited. So, my darling, I'll read this one out to you, and then I think if you're feeling like it, it's time to drift off. How does that sound? Lovely. Okay. So, without further ado, this is the introduction, okay, to soft furnishings for your home. All right. Fabric designers must create a master artwork that combines the elements of colour, scale, pattern and proportion, uniting them with harmony and balance to create a finished design that is interesting and pleasing to the eye. In approaching this task, fabric designers take into account the proposed function of the fabric. The designer will experiment with different forms of colour, pattern, scale and proportion in order to compose their final artwork. This design process is quite lengthy and complex, passing through planned steps and unplanned hiccups. When all the elements are working in unison, the artwork is finally completed. The home decorator must also make decisions about mood or style and faces a similar challenge. Like the designer, the home decorator must consider all the design elements and how they will affect the final result. The elements then take shape in the form of fabric choices and colour schemes, which in turn are converted into individual projects, such as those in this book. As you see your planning taking shape, then comes the feeling of satisfaction in being able to say, I did it myself. Soft furnishings for your home not only shows you how to achieve 7 enticing and wonderful room settings, it also encourages you to combine elements from the various chapters to create a unique look for your home. The first section of the book, Creating Your Style, covers the planning process involved in combining all the different design elements to create a master plan. Before you cut your first metre of fabric or sew your first stitch, you are made fully aware of the many things to consider when you design and make your own soft furnishings. The effects of colour and texture, the choice of an appropriate fabric, the selection of trims and accessories to adorn and define your projects, and the essential equipment are all highlighted and illustrated in this section. Individual chapters based on soft furnishing groupings such as curtains, cushions or table linen will give you more specific instructions for making those particular items. Each project has step-by-step instructions, and the details in Creating Your Style can be used for a quick and easy reference to help you achieve a professional result. Soft Furnishings for Your Home presents many different design styles, each project so inviting and so easy that you'll want to attempt them all. There are no hidden secrets or tricks used in this book, and as long as you are able to sew a straight line and have the basic equipment to achieve a professional finish, you will be able to conjure up new and unique creations in a matter of hours. Isn't that lovely? Well, I'll be off now, my darling, but I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful sleep, and I hope you enjoyed a little read into soft furnishings for your home. I'd love to read more with you if you'd like that, so let me know